What is up, Internet world, and welcome to Accelerate. I'm Mike, he's Ian. Today, bringing the 911 Dakar. Let's put this in rally mode. R-A-L-L-Y-E. So this rally mode was specifically designed by Porsche for this car, and it's magical. Now the grip in rally mode is just amazing. It's like, it feels like I'm on actual asphalt. It's just sick. So what exactly is rally mode? It's specific to this car, and it allows you to have 100% of power to the rear axle and about 88% to the front. But the stability program and the traction control allows you to just slip a little bit more, obviously because this is designed for the dunes. Maybe not what we took it on, this little dirt road, essentially with a bunch of water and potholes. It's really designed for more, sand, and that's where the name come from, the Dakar Rally. But this is like supposed to be the best 911 ever, because you can take this thing anywhere. It's just so unique, and its limited supply just bumps that up. So I got pulled over. Someone called this and said it's a suspicious car. Well, I don't blame them, but they don't know it's a Dakar. So I'm driving down this gravel road in rally mode, and this Dodge Ram's on the other side, and I guess he stopped and wondering, what is this Porsche doing on a gravel road? So he calls the cops, and now at the end of this road, this cop just pulls me over and is like, this is a suspicious vehicle. No Porsche drives down this road. And I'm like, this is a Dakar. So let's see what he does to me.
All good.
So this is a unique one, because this is the only Porsche they make that's designed for the gravel, and it's called a Dakar Rally back in the day. So it's very, very exclusive. This is number 1251 of 2500.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so thank you.
That back?
Thank you, yeah.
There's your other
Yeah, I don't blame them for calling. I mean, I get it.
The aggressive tires, too.
So you can lower and you can raise and lower this thing, so now it goes down.
Oh, wow.
Goes there. Look at it inside. It's all fancy, and you want inside?
Oh, no. I have no way I'm going to get in there. If I get in, I'll never get
They
out.
removed the back seats.
Right.
The big thing is the exterior. There's two versions of it. This is like a colored version, and then you have one that has like gas cans on top and like a big Thule box. It's designed to go like, off-roady in every terrain. So
Nice vehicle.
What?
I would take you up on that, but I can barely get in and out of that thing.
No worries.
Right.
Hey, thanks for doing your job,
care.
man. No worries. Have a great day. Okay, well that was that. Okay, back to normal after being pulled over for being in a suspicious vehicle. Well, I don't blame them for calling me in, because nobody in a $500,000 car, especially a Porsche, is going to be down a gravel road. Well, here we are in the Dakar, designed for it. He was pretty impressed with this car. I love it. How funny was that? So for those that don't know, Porsche was heavily involved in the Dakar Rally. It's an off-road rally that goes from Paris all the way down to the capital of Senegal. Now that was with the 953 and the 959, and it took this long to convince the head honchos at Porsche to make something like this. The 911 Dakar was launched in 2023, and luckily for us, we get to touch one and drive it in 2024. There's a lot going on here. On the exterior, you have these bulky tires. You've got this clad all the way around, and it makes me feel like this is an Audi all-road, which I definitely cannot say in public. But here we are. But there isn't just one new drive mode with the Dakar. In fact, there are two. The second one is called off-road, and what it does, it sets the suspension to its highest level in terms of height, and you also have all four wheels getting the same amount of power. That's consistency, but it's limited to 105 miles an hour. You can't go faster than that. Not that you'd want that in an off-road mode, but hey, just letting you know. In sport mode, it just hugs the road like nobody's business. In rally mode, you can drive it wherever you want. In off-road mode, well, we don't have the terrain for that, but I can only imagine. In the dunes, this thing must be so much fun. So much fun. But all I can give you is street mode. So let's go. This just sounds so good. So good. Gonna launch a $500,000 car. With the 3-liter twin turbo that makes 473 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. This is day one, launching in the rain. 5 drive modes. Drive mode sport. Foot on the brake, foot on the gas, launch control activated. Let's go. God! 3.13 in the rain? What? 3.13. Okay. All right, y'all, day 2, beautiful day today. Again, these are specific tires built for this Dakar. So we're gonna try this in sport now. Foot on the ground, launch control activated. Let's go. Spinach. What do we got? Woo-hoo. You guys see this one? This is a funny one. This is a funny one. I broke the 3-second mark. You guys see that? 2.98. Check this out. It's a fire extinguisher. This ain't a Kia. Front of the Porsche 911 Dakar. So we won't talk about the headlights because they're all the same in pretty much every Porsche. Now remember, this is based off a GTS. So everything about it is GTS-ish, except for this front hood, which has been stolen off the GT3 RS. Yes, it is all carbon fiber. You have this front red tow hook in the front as well as the back. And you will notice there's no central radiator here. It's been shifted to the left and the right because they want to have a really thin bumper for the approach angle. And speaking of approach angle, when you come really tight, well, you have skid plates here to protect the front of your Porsche. So the side is where the Dakar is most prominent. We'll start off with the front. It has shorter overhangs than the GTS. Of course, you have a lot of plastic paneling that goes all the way around the fender flares, the sides, and then back up over the rear fender. You have these beefy tires that have been enhanced or fortified, or whatever other adjective you'd like to use to describe these meaty tires that are more puncture resistant. They are made by Pirelli specifically for this Dakar, and they are Scorpions. The suspension on the Dakar is 2 inches higher than the standard GTS. That's 6.3 inches normal ground clearance. But you do have an extra button to give it you extra lift, and that jacks it up by 1.2 inches to give it a total of 7.5 inches of ground clearance at maximum height in the Dakar. And that is standard when you turn it into the off-road mode on the drive select button on the steering wheel. Now moving down from there, you have rocker panels that do have some additional protection so that all the gravel doesn't beat up the rocker panels or get rusted after about 10 years of ownership on this Dakar. You do have carbon fiber mirrors with a 360 camera on either side, a full carbon roof, which is beautiful to look at. Now, when you look at this, this is probably different than most Dakars you've seen out there on reviews. That one is the Rough Roads edition, which essentially gives you a full roof, I would say box, but roof box plus shovel, plus the ability to even put a tent on the top of your Dakar, which is super, super cool. Which is one of the things when I saw this thing, I was like, is this a step ladder to get onto your tent right here? But no, that is where the intake is. So now, just moving back from there, it's interesting enough to know that when you get the Rough Roads edition, you get all the plaque or design from the original Rothmans 911. It is no longer advertiser friendly to have a cigarette brand on the side of your vehicle, which is why they changed it to rough roads. Now, in my opinion, rough roads sounds pretty weak. They should just give you the option to put your own words on the side. Mine would say, Latinas are hot. Now, the Dakar has thinner glass to lighten the weight on this GTS platform. It also has two 45, 19s on the front and two 95, 19s in the back. Now, when you have these bolstered tires, you have a top speed of 146 or 149 miles an hour. My brain's not working perfectly, but that's fast enough to be the slowest 911 on the market in decades. Now, what's interesting is the gap right here. It is so tight. I wonder if anybody out there has bought a GTS and mounted these knobby tires to their wheels and have taken it off-road. If you have, let us know in the comments below, or know anybody so we can see how that factors in versus the Dakar. This has the cooling from a 911 Turbo S, which means you can beat the hell out of it. And something else you can beat the hell out of is the subscribe button, because we need all the subs we can get. Only 7% of the people that watch our channel actually subscribe. We'd like another plaque on this side. All right, let's wrap around the rear end of this 911 Dakar. First things first is this spoiler. It's completely fixed. I love the way it looks. It's nice and wide as far as width and length in the actual spoiler itself. Moving down from there, you have a third brake light and an additional light bar that goes around the Porsche. That's not new, but what is new is this for the Dakar. You have a tow hook in the front as well as the back. So from down here, this looks like a whale tail spoiler. Thumbs up, Porsche designers. Dakar, spelled with one K, like it's supposed to. And then you have this rear lower valence that matches the skid plate up front. It's not plastic. Front seat of the 911 Dakar. So let's talk about Dakar stuff. The first thing is the key. It says 911 Dakar right on it. And it's paint matched to the exact paint that's on this car, which is called shade green, including two other trim pieces. The inserts on the vents and this line that goes from end to end on the dash. All the stitching in it is the same color. That's interesting. I just actually noticed it, including the 911 on the actual crested headrest. Now, what's interesting though is there's no Dakar pieces here. Nothing screams Dakar at me except for this stamped little plaque here. This one is 1251 of 2500. There's only 2500 of these built, which makes you wonder, why do they not put a roll cage standard? This requires a roll cage. This needs all the structural stability it can get. You can get them with roll cages, but they should be standard. There is one final piece that says Dakar, but it's actually in the software, and that's on the screen. It says 911 Dakar on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, you have the visual of a 911 outline that has these funky little lines on the tires. And that's about it. Everything else is basically from a GTS. It's exactly the same as every other 911 we've sat in. Oops, I forgot about this 12 o'clock piece that is on this full Alcantara steering wheel. I do love it though, because it's all carbon fiber on this steering wheel. This steering wheel is amazing. One of the best steering wheels I've ever put my hands on. But you expect a little bit more Dakarish when you buy one, especially on the inside. On the outside, it's amazing. Completely different, funky, unique. I just love all the traits about it. But inside, it's pretty straightforward 911. That's it. So there's some unique bits about the Dakar. You can't get it in manual. You can't get it with 4 seats or 2+2, but you do have this button that you press that lifts the suspension, as I mentioned, on the outside by 1.2 inches in its lift mode. That's standard when you go in the off-road position on this little toggle. You do have sport response when you hit the button, so that's a thumbs up. And you do have the option to get these seats and not just fixed with the buckets that come standard, which is a thumbs up Porsche. All your knobbies are very simplified. They're right in front of you. Everything's perfectly positioned. The only thing maybe you would change, especially because this is an off-roading version, is all this gloss black on the center console, only because you'd have a lot of dust and maybe, some debris that'll fly in every now and then. This is going to get really, really scratchy, especially after 2 or 3 years of owning the vehicle. If you plan to have it as a garage queen, I guess it doesn't make any difference. But for me, maybe a little less piano black. But hey, at least you have heated seats for us Canadians. So I'm on the second bumpiest road that I have around where we live, and this is a very compacted gravelly road that has a bunch of potholes here and there, and this thing just takes it like a champ. You don't really feel it. So does this drive like a 911? Well, for starters, it doesn't feel as low, obviously, because it's not. It doesn't feel as sharp. That's quite obvious. But it's a lot more comfortable, which is the weirdest thing to say, because 911s are generally comfortable, but this in sport even is good. And it's just look at the bounce. I'm getting bounce. You never get bounce in 911s, but you get bounce in this. So you have that extra, that little softness that you just don't get. For starters, this is definitely not a daily driver, just because there's 2,500 of them, so there's just not enough of them to go around that it's anywhere close to being affordable for the normal person to buy. So as a daily driver, obviously, you know, you can't get it. There's very little road noise from these tires, which I must applaud Porsche for spending time with the tire manufacturer. So I'm gonna end this video like every other Dakar video by asking the same question we always get asked. Would you buy this or a GT3 RS? And the answer is this. And the reason is because you can use this every day if you had the money to do so. But the GT3 RS is very stiff, very one-dimensional, and not exactly practical, but this is. But the better solution is to buy a GTS, jack it up, put some knobby tires on it, and go to work, and then buy a GT3 RS with the extra money you may have. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you